And even though they do not understand it, it's not their fault, it's not my fault, it's just how it is. Just 2 weeks ago, I think, I was going through the recent uploads, which is only like, 4 videos in total, and it genuinely made me cringe looking at myself talking. Like every minute detail of that video, the camera angles, the voice, how the noise reduction made my voice sound. It was like a shitstorm just blowing on my face, but after a while, I think I kind of liked the way the entire video was formed. It was simple, like I did not add any crazy edits or transitions or state-of-the-art features. I just record my videos, edit them in iMovie and just drop them. And I think that part of the process made me realize how much I have had to build up the courage and the mindset to actually put this thing out into the world, because it's for the public. Anyone can see, anyone can cringe at it, anyone can look at me and be secondhand embarrassed by me talking. But I think that deserved a pat in the back, and it made me think maybe not all cringe is bad. Then there's good cringe, there's bad cringe. I do believe there's a fine thin line between what people, or just a bigger mass of people, the common folks, find to be cringe, and a different thing which is actually wholesome, but maybe just a bit weird for normal folks. Like, let's say a person dancing in public, not harming anyone, just dancing weirdly, listening to music. I think there's a wholesome element embedded in that, and maybe he's dancing a little weird. I think that's just normal to him. Maybe it is normal to him. We don't know him, we don't know the person, we know nothing about him. Maybe it's just a very happy day for him and he just wants to express it and he can't control it. Who are we to judge, right? I know as a society, judgment has its place, because judgment, from a societal point of view, puts down antisocial behavior. It's very deep thought that will take forever to explain, but judgment has its place. It's not that it is unnecessary. Judgment is necessary, but judging an individual for doing something, for expressing themselves in a happy way without harming anyone, and calling it weird, I mean, that's kind of far-stretched. Would you have the courage? I personally wouldn't have the courage to put in headphones and dance in public. I'm way too shy for that. Not built for that, man. My dad always said the saying that there's a time for everything. I think the extended version is something like there's a time and place for everything, but he just said there's a time for everything. I didn't quite understand that when I was a kid, but now I do really know what it means. It just means that if you're at a certain stage in life when you see your peers or just society in general that has people your age doing certain things, and if you're just like, I'm better off without that, that will lead to some missing out in the future. I'll give an example. At an age of like 16, 17, partying is really big phenomenon in teenage life, and as to be the kind of kid who would be like, no, I don't really need that, I'm way too shy, I'm way too introverted, I should just stay and study and focus on getting good grades, which did help me get good grades, but the other kids who were partying were also getting good grades, so it's me who was missing out. And I think there's a movie, I don't quite remember the name right now, but that kind of goes over it, and it just shows that there is indeed a time for everything, and likewise there's a time for being cringe. You just do not know you're being cringe until you grow up, like that stupid riz you made up to talk to a girl when you were just a teenager. Those were the cringy phases that helped you be who you are today, and I am kind of proud of my cringe phases. Like, my most recent phase that I look back and cringe at was the Sigma male phase. I genuinely thought it was a good thing, glorifying struggle. I don't know why I felt that way. Maybe I was at a stage where I was struggling a lot. I know I was going through a hard time. Maybe that's the reason I found it relatable to the Sigma male stage. But now I do realize that glorifying struggle is not really the end goal, but the end goal is going through the struggle and coming out as a winner, or just coming out of the struggle without losing yourself. I think that's what we need to glorify more than the entire, because life is a struggle as it is. I don't know why we try so hard to make it even harder, because living is hard. I've made an entire video on this, that you're gonna die, everyone you know are gonna die in 3 generations, no one gonna remember you. That makes life meaningless as it is, so why just try so hard to make it any harder? So yeah. So the final question. How do you, now that you know what is the good cringe and what is the bad cringe, which I believe you all had a pretty good understanding of, but if you didn't, I hope it helped. But now that we have established that, how do you do something that you may think is cringy, but you're just missing out on your life by thinking that way? Like, I'll give an example, a personal example. I love taking pictures of trees, plants, beautiful flower I saw in the wilderness. I love doing that. Every time I go travel with my buddies, I'll just make the car stop at a weird turn and just go out and take pictures of the way the mountains are looking at just the cloud that is looking at. That is something I enjoy. And third question, like, why do you do that? What do you find interesting about it? I genuinely don't see it. And I've tried explaining that, and people don't get it. It made me stop at a certain point. Whereas, like, yeah, maybe I'm being weird, I'm being too weird, I should stop it. Which I did, but that didn't feel good. It did not feel good to stop something, or stop a way of me expressing my love for nature. So I started doing it again. And even though they do not understand it, it's not their fault, it's not my fault. It's just how it is, and I'm not just gonna miss out on something I love doing because of the fear that maybe I'm coming out as cringe. So that's a good example. All you have to do is ask yourself, am I missing out on something because I think people are gonna find it cringy? The chances are, if you're actually asking yourself that question, you are in the right mindset, where the thing that you're thinking about, which may turn out to be cringy, is not cringy at all, because people who make embarrassing content don't usually ask themselves that stuff. Like, you wanna start that business, don't worry about what people may think, just do it. You want to start a YouTube channel, you want to put the phone down and record yourself. I used to be very scared. If you have seen my videos, you know that, and just do it. You have not got enough time on this planet, so at a point you gotta realize you have to follow what the heart and your passion wants, and I think you should do that. It also helped me come to, I think, a very wise conclusion that cringing over your past is probably just a want from yourself to be a better person for the future. And I think if you're cringing, or if you're cringed or embarrassed by the things that you're doing or have done, that just means you're a better person now. I think you should be proud of that.